Welcome to another Tuesday General Agent Training. We do this every single Tuesday or most every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And today we've got some great training for you. But before we get into that, one thing we always want to do is we want to review what we did last week. Last week, there was an extremely good training on how to take those trends online, already newsworthy trending topics and turn those into conversations that can lead to clients and growth. So, that is a great training. Review that and implement what you learn in that training to help you because lead generation is the lifeblood of your business. If you get good at having multiple spokes in the lead generation wheel, your CRM fills up. We're going to talk about what happens today if you effectively use what we call the 4 C's. And that's really what we're going to be training on today is mastering those 4 C's and the flow from, lead to revenue. That's always, you want to create something that works for yourself, teach other people, create their independence, move out of the way, have the asset working for you instead of you working for the asset. Takes a little time to get there, but that's what we're all working towards. The biggest mistakes agents make is focusing on the outcomes. We all want, I got to get clients, I got to get partners, I got to make sales, I got to write these applications, I got to earn this commission. And those are all extremely important, don't get me wrong, but that's not where the growth starts. The growth starts in your business with the process that you use. So these are the 4 C's, guys, and this is a framework that every successful agent follows, whether they realize it or not. Now, if they don't realize it, it's probably not being followed, and they're probably not as successful as somebody who's dialed into this because this is a flow. And once you understand the flow, you're just sorting people out, making sure that whatever stage they're at, you're trying to move them to the next pipeline stage. You have to have contacts. We start with people. We're a relationship business. You got to find, connect, capture new contacts on a daily basis in your CRM. It's like that old game when you were kids, Hungry Hungry Hippo. Your CRM is always hungry. It always wants new leads. If you get good at filling your CRM with leads, the next step is communication. You build relationships and create conversations through automated, manual, or a combination of both those communications. A lot of things happen in the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th interaction. Most agents don't get there. That's why the automation is extremely important. You combine high tech with high touch, do a little manual, and the combination of both of those should move people towards one of two things either the next action step, which is a calendar appointment, or to opt out. Hey, I don't want any more information from Mike. I'm going to unsubscribe, stop out. That's fine. I'll take either. I know that sounds weird. Both are a win in my book because I know if I create enough leads, resolve enough leads, I know I'll get what I'm looking for. If that action step is the calendar appointment, move those interested parties to phone calls, online meetings by scheduling them on your calendar. And then those calendar appointments create contracts for the right people. The appointments drive the outcomes, including contracts for new clients, partner enrollment, and you just repeat this over and over and over again. As your CRM gets bigger, you have more people in cycles of communication that are dripping and answering back, wanting more information, wanting to schedule with you. It's like a snowball. Might start off slow or small in the beginning, but understand that if you do the work on a consistent basis, daily, day in, day out, for even a 90-day stretch, watch what happens. When one of these areas breaks down, guys, the business slows down. You're either growing or contracting, expanding or dying, right? So the chain is always and only as strong as its weakest link. So when you're looking at this, a strong system creates predictable results. Hey, I know if I've got X amount of people that I'm putting in daily and I'm starting them on workflows, I know after a while the percentage that are going in at week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it might be, into the calendar appointments. I know exactly who's stopping out. I know exactly how to build my business making data-driven decisions. So the first C is contacts, guys, and this is your raw material. If you were a factory, this is your raw material that you're bringing in. No contacts means no business. Pretty easy to understand. Doesn't matter how good the presentation is, does not matter how much product knowledge you have, it does not matter how many years of experience you have. If nobody hears or sees you, doesn't matter, right? Without people, nothing happens. So contacts is the top of your formula. Your first responsibility of every agent is to maintain a steady flow of contacts. That's why we talk about lead generation through warm, common, social, cold market, and all the things that we do to attract, connect, capture, and then continue the conversations. More contacts today equals more conversations tomorrow. That means more results always. It's not a hard equation to figure out. There's always a breakdown. And when there is a breakdown, you either acknowledge that breakdown and fix it, or you drift away and end up quitting. People are the starting point. So the more contacts that you have going in, the better that you have. Now, the quality of that contact matters. The better you can dial into a persona, and we talked about that before. That's not the reason for this training, but the more dialed in you can be of who you're looking for, where to find them, and what to say to them, the more valuable your contact's getting versus just blanketed where you have to do more to sort them out. Where the contacts come from, that's going to be up to you guys. But what I'm really seeing is that if you use all the markets and all the things that we teach, you're never, ever in search of leads, because the easiest place to begin is people you have acquaintances with, relationships with. These are, the examples on the list. You can see it's the typical warm market examples. We use training presentations to help the new agent learn how to do our client and our partner presentation, also introduce it to other people. They're helping you as the new agent, but they're also getting introduced to the information. Trust me, that leads to client sales. That leads to business opportunity conversations. These are people that already know and trust you. So it's a lot easier to ask them, hey, I need your opinion. I need your help. Will you do a favor for me? That's how you get the warm market started. You're not pitching, selling, or recruiting the warm market. You're asking for their opinion, asking for their help, asking if they'll do a favor for you just to take a look and give some constructive criticism or feedback to what you're doing. Social media continues to be, an evolving atmosphere and environment. But what you have to understand is that, do people need to save money? Do people need a standard of living in retirement? Do people in the insurance industry need a good opportunity with coaching, mentoring, training, support, equity opportunity? You better believe it. So as you're out there, just understand that people want answers. People need help. People are looking for things. If you can't be seen, you can't be heard online, they're not going to really identify. And what we see works best online is just be the person out there answering questions, offering advice, not doing direct pitching, recruiting, or selling, but doing the things to provide value and then moving those conversations from general post or groups into direct messages, into calendar appointments. We have plenty of training about this, but whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's alignable, like networking, or whether it's the directories like Reddit and Cura and things like that, there are plenty of people online communicating. Go out there and communicate with them. The purpose of social media is not the likes. Don't get it twisted and get it wrong. It's not about everything that you might think that's important on social media. The purpose is conversations. If you have 2 likes, but you get a great conversation out of that, great. That's a lot better than 50 likes and no conversation. So understand where the true value in social media comes from. And then always be somebody that is networking. Networking is a lot easier than direct marketing. If you're networking, you're just asking questions. Like I've explained this before, it's like a blind date. Hey, what do you do? That's great. How'd you get started? How long you been doing it? What's working, what's not working? Just peppering them with questions, getting information out that uncovers problems they have, goals they have, where you can usher in a solution and an action step. As you're networking, you also want to get good at asking for referrals. Maybe that conversation isn't a direct link. Maybe it can be an off link. Maybe they know somebody. So if you never ask for referrals, you get none. If you ask for referrals, what you see is, if you do it in a meaningful way, who else do you know that needs access to this information is a great way to ask for referrals versus who do you know that I can talk to. It's on the timing and the words that you use, but get good at networking, showing interest in other people to build interest in what you do, and get good at creating referral networks for yourself. Relationships create opportunities. You're not selling, you're serving people. Opportunities create growth. When you're marketing, you have to fill the top of your funnel. And whether you're doing that from Facebook ads, lead funnels, landing pages, educational content, workshops, webinars, the attraction is where it brings them into the funnel. Then there's an engagement and nurturing and a conversion process. We have things that can help you guys out with this. You can do this organically, and you can do this on a paid level. You can do a combination of both. Don't throw money at something that you don't understand. If you're not good at closing, you're not good at following up with people, get good at that organically. Learn through the process of your organic lead generation. Don't spend money on the learning process. It can be very expensive, and it can be very, disconcerting and disheartening, and you'll end up probably getting very frustrated and quit. So learn the business and then use the money to kind of pour fuel on the fire, so to speak. But understanding marketing creates contacts. Contacts create opportunities. If you're consistent in doing this, what you'll see is the CRM starts to fill up over X period of time, and you go from 10 contacts to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000. And you can see how just the sheer number of large numbers in communication cycles drip in much more interest and much more calendar appointments and everything you're looking for from the sheer magnitude of the numbers that you have. Guys, when you are doing a business, you have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't really know your business. People, process, and product. That's what you're looking for. Inside the process, you have to know what's working, what's not working. The CRM is your business. It's not a real contact unless it enters your CRM. You met somebody in a networking group that you think might make a good partner. It's not a lead till it goes in your CRM. If it's not in your CRM, can't be tracked, can't be followed up with, can't be nurtured. Usually what happens is it gets lost and forgot about. The CRM should contain as much information as you have about the person. If you're like me, I can talk to somebody, have a conversation, the next conversation, forget the conversation before. So note taking, tagging people. So you have to know their contact information, obviously name, phone, email. Where did you meet them? Who are they? And these tags can be extremely important. If I meet somebody on LinkedIn and they're an insurance agent, they're interested in the equity opportunity, those are the three tags I use, and I can pull those people up in my CRM. Hey, who are my LinkedIn contacts that are insurance agents that are interested in the equity opportunity that I've created a lead in the CRM? And I can invite them to webinars. I can send out a guide, whatever it is. If I'm just writing people on pieces of paper, just putting people on a calendar, just putting somebody on a spreadsheet, that's just really going to usher in disorganization and chaos. And then things start falling through the cracks. That could be in the beginning hundreds. In the end, that could be thousands, or it can cause a massive collapse, which you don't have the financial resources to continue because you just weren't organized in the way that you do your business. So you need to ask yourself, how many new contacts entered in the CRM this week? If it's zero, that's a really bad sign because that number predicts your future growth. If it is zero, don't beat yourself up. Understand, be accountable, go forward, try to build on that. CRM is always hungry. The more contacts, the more money you're going to make. It's not a hard equation to really figure out. The next C here is communication. Once you have contacts, you have to communicate with them. Most agents might send a text, an email, maybe even put them on an email campaign that really goes into their spam. But most won't engage with them past one or two opportunities. That's where automation comes in. If you have a workflow that goes out 90 to 120 days and you set it, all that you're waiting for is the replies, right? Either they're interested and you're asking for engagement. If you're interested, say yes. If you want info, type in info. And you're just monitoring. Hey, replies are coming through, whether those are stops, yeses, inflow, whatever it might be. You've got things to work, and those you're sorting people, right? So they have a communication problem. Agents, they don't necessarily have a contact problem. They have a communication issue. People that go in your CRM, then nothing happens. Well, if it's in the CRM, but it's not being communicated with, it's not really doing much. It's like, a car that's just sitting there. It's not driving anywhere. Communication is what moves the people forward to different types of outcomes. That's call, text, emails, direct messages, voice drops, anything that we can put inside of a workflow to keep them top of mind, keep the information going, and to lead them to, like I said, one of two outcomes. I want them to go to the next action step, which is the calendar, or I want them to tell me no more. I don't want any more information from you. I received it, can't use it, don't want it, whatever the reason is. I like both of those outcomes because I don't like the third outcome, which is I've gone through an entire workflow over X amount of months and the person's completely ignored me. So you want to push outcomes, and those outcomes will be good, bad, ugly, but the good ones will start to compound on top of each other. The purpose of communication, guys, is not to sell. The purpose of communication is to create curiosity and schedule calendar appointments. Communicate with purpose. Every text, every email, even in the automated workflows as we're building those should have a reason. What do I want the other side to do from this text, from this email, from this voicemail, from this direct message? Start with understanding what you want the other side to do, because if it works, great, roll with it. If it's not, understand where the breaks are, fix it, and when it starts to work, run with it until it gets stale. There's three types of communication that you guys have to understand, and they're very, very straightforward. And when you look at the three types of communication, what you're seeing is that the automation is going to provide you guys with consistency. So the consistency that normally is missing from the things we had to do, like if I had to manually send out a text or an email campaign to somebody over a 90-day process, there's a 0% chance that's going to happen. We have to be real with ourselves. So automation works 24/7. They're like employees that you have that don't need a bathroom break, they don't need a vacation, they're not arguing with their spouse, they're just working. They're sending out texts, sending out emails, sending out appointment reminders, sending out educational sequences, follow-up cans. They're just working, working, working. So obviously you guys know examples of this, but all you're doing is staying in front of people. And that email or that text or that voice drop, whatever it might be, it might hit them at a certain time and point where their pain or their goal is at top of their mind. They take the action step. That's all you're doing. Remember, people aren't buying a refrigerator or a new car from you, or once it's purchased, they move on. People need everything that we offer: financial education, business opportunities. All of the things that we offer is a constant theme, and it's never something that's just, like I said, a purchase and then we move on. So a lead that was created 4 months ago still has relevance now, if the timing is correct for the other party. And then you have, on top of automated communication, manual. And this is just going in and making sure, hey, if somebody gets stuck in a pipeline process and they're not moving because of the automation, I want to go in there with manual. Also, if somebody books an appointment, yeah, the reminders are great, the automated reminders, but you also want to make some personal touches and say, hey, you're getting some automated reminders, but I just want to reach out personally, let you know I'm excited to meet with you. This is what the meeting's going to look like, whatever you want to do. But manual communication, people are still going to buy from people up until they're buying from robots completely. People still buy from people. It's a networking people relationship business. So, hearing your voice creates connection. Those quick, personal, easy to respond to messages from text that you send, social media, voice notes, personal follow-up. The combination of the automated workflows with your manual communication creates a lot of trust, rapport, and credibility, and gives people the they're okay with taking action steps, or they're getting so much communication they're okay with saying, I don't want it anymore. Manual communication is going to build the trust. Remember, the consistency of the automated workflows is important, but the manual communication builds trust. Technology gets their attention, you get their business. You don't close because of the presentation, you close because of the relationship. And that's all we're trying to do on the front side. The trust, rapport, credibility is getting built so that when you get in front of these people, or we get in front of these people, we're not having to do that. It's already established before we ever meet them. All right, and then you got hybrid communication. This is where top producers live. Top builders build huge agencies off this. Automation creates efficiency. Personal communication creates relationships. The combination creates results. So you want to stay in front of people on an automated basis. You also want to stay in front of people and build that relationship. These two things working together, it's going to build trust. It's going to drive the results, and doing a lot of the things like the statistic things that most agents don't follow up. Automation takes care of that. So you're building the relationship, staying top of mind, driving calendar appointments, driving opt-outs. Both are okay because they're creating outcomes. Be consistent, be personal, be both. That's the power of the hybrid communication here. So the communication flow, this is what you need. Most conversations should follow this path. It's opening, continuing, and directing a conversation. Connection, you got to build rapport and establish trust. If it's already done by some of the things that we've sent out, some of the things you have online, that's great. The connection is going to lead to curiosity. Curiosity is asking questions, learning about their world. They do not care about you and your business and all the great things that you have to offer until they actually feel like you understand them. 70% of this communication should be them talking, you're asking questions. Conversations, have a real dialogue back and forth, provide value, uncover needs, and then drive the appointment. Invite to continue the right people to the appointment. And so, if it's not a phone call in the beginning, if it's an online meeting and you find that you have a lot of no-shows, then just revert back to a discovery call, because all that's telling you is we haven't done enough to create a higher show rate, and that sorting process can be done on the phone. Because if you're moving from a Q&A or discovery call to an online meeting and you've done these things, the show rate should be 70+%. And then do not, just be that person that's constantly pitching, selling, recruiting. The appointment is where discovery happens. Not the text message, not the Facebook comment, not the first phone call. You're just creating all of those to create interest in and create curiosity in having a conversation. Follow the flow. If you master this, things become a lot easier to do on a daily basis, and also teach other people. Because if you do something and you can't teach other people, it's not easy, duplicatable, replicatable, whatever it is you want to call it, you got a real problem building distribution. We need to keep it extremely simple. And that's why we need to avoid mistakes for ourselves and teach other agents how to avoid these mistakes. Explaining products too early. That's a big no-no. Informational overload, trying to convince people, talking more than listening. That's a hard one for a lot of us. And then giving up after one attempt. This is stuff that you have to understand is going to be a break for your business. Fortune is often found in the follow-up. You guys have heard that before. Just understand success in real estate or any type of these, insurance, any type of these sales opportunities is going to rarely be in the first conversation. A lot of times when somebody's looking for a house, they may have the real estate agent drive them around to 20 different houses before they make a decision. If that real estate agent were to quit after the first house, what happens? They don't make the sale. So same thing. I wanted to sometimes take it out of our industry to help you guys understand. It's not just an insurance industry. It's not just a financial service industry thing. It's a people business all the way around. It's a relationship business. It's a networking business. The better you guys get at this, the easier it's going to be to build the business. So ask yourself at this point, outside of the contacts we put in the CRM, how many meaningful conversations did I create this week? And once again, if it's zero, that's a bad leading indicator. It doesn't have to be the nail in the coffin, but you have to realize it, be accountable, understand it measured out at zero, and make the changes necessary to create the meaningful conversations. In the beginning, it's not your job to do this. It's just your job to get it on other people's calendar that can help you. And then C number 3 is the calendar. This is where really everything starts to come into a revenue possibility opportunity. Calendar takes interest, becomes commitment. A contact that schedules time is demonstrating the interest. If they go on your calendar, there's some type of interest there. That's a good leading indicator and a good sign. Appointments are the lifeblood of your business. Now, lead generation is obviously the lifeblood, but if lead generation is the lifeblood of your business, appointments are the lifeblood of your revenue and income, which is the other side of your business, right? Creating leads, resolving leads, those outcomes have to, create positive outcomes. Most agents don't need more information. They need more appointments. Appointments equal opportunities. More appointments equals more closing. So how many appointments did we have last week, either for our upline or for ourselves? Types of appointments you can have: client. Clients are twofold, and our partners are twofold as well. Discovery calls. These are to understand goals, understand challenges, determine fit, also create the interest from general interest into more concerted or individualized interest to schedule online meetings where education, recommendations, and solutions happen. The goal is simple here, guys. Build the relationships and provide value. Help clients make confident decisions. What are those decisions? You're not selling them something. They're making buying decisions. When they do that, higher retention, higher referrals, higher user-generated content, reviews, all the things that we're looking for to help us build more trust, rapport, credibility, in the outside world. In the partner side, there's 3 here, but there's really 2. You have the Q&A call that can, usher in one of 3 decisions. Hey, I'm interested in learning more from the inside. I need more information, or no interest at all. You're answering questions, exploring the fit. The business opportunity presentations is where we're explaining more about the model, explaining the income opportunity, explaining equity opportunities. So this is designed to give them more specific data to make a decision. Now, when you're doing these presentations, especially for agents, understand it's an evaluation process for their standpoint. It's also evaluation from our standpoint. Make sure they know that, take the power back a little bit. And then training presentations, like I said, are designed to get both of these in the eyes of somebody the new agent knows for training purposes. That's first and foremost, but also to see if we can get some early wins for that new agent. They can learn and earn at the same time. If they get paid and they're feeling confident about the business, that is going to be a huge springboard trampoline for more activity that they're going to do coming out of the gates. Meetings create clarity, guys. Clarity creates commitment. More meetings, more partnerships. And then when you're looking at what you're doing for the calendar metrics, this is all you're looking at. Hey, how many appointments did I schedule? What was the show rate? What was the no-show rate? What are the reschedules? And what was the show rate here? So what you're doing here, if you find you have a lot of no-shows, what you want to do is you want to work on reducing those no-shows by increasing the number of cancels and reschedules. Those are a lot better than no-shows. That could be from the communication reminders. That could be from the fact that you're not doing a personal with the automation. There's a lot of reasons, but what gets measured gets improved. So understand what's working, what's not working. You learn from both of those. And then the calendar truth, you can't control who buys, you can't control who joins, you can control how many appointments you create. Top producers become appointment producing machines. They understand, don't get emotional about things. They look at it as a game and they gamify it. They know the numbers will come in if they take care of the numbers on the front side. Focus on the activity that you can control. Remember, the revenue, income, and growth are lagging indicators or measures. You want to look at the lead indicators or measures, which is activity. So ask yourself, how many appointments did I generate this week? There should be a lot going on because we have a lot going on in the business model. Once again, if it's low to none, just be accountable, reflect on it, and change that. And then finally, we're going to finish up with C number 4, which is the contacts. And really, hold on one second, guys. And really, when you look at hold on one second, guys. When you look at the 4C, what you're looking at is where kind of the pavement hits the tire, so to speak. You are looking at the outcome of all the other work that you've actually done up until this point. So most agents focus here first. I got to get outcomes, right? Successful agents focus here last. Contracts are usually the result of successfully executing the first 3 C's: contacts, communication, calendar appointments. That's going to get the contracts. When you dwell and you focus on the contracts first and you ignore what actually leads up to the contracts, that what creates doubt, drift, and ends up quitting because it's a system. You can't get to the end finish line without taking off from the starting line. So when you guys are looking at this and you're looking at client contracts, that can be mortgage protection, be your own bank, convert debt to wealth, retirement planning, remove Uncle Sam. This is term insurance. All the rest of this stuff is cash value life insurance, mainly the IUL that we use. That's proprietary to our platform because of the interest crediting strategies and the max variable loan rate. And we got other stuff that we can offer too. We do this so that you guys, when you get in front of people, no matter what they want to talk about, no matter what their goal or problem is, you have information, education, solutions for those things. Once they kind of walk into our front door, so to speak, they get inundated with everything else that we have. So our goal is simple: help clients win today and tomorrow with real life solutions in real time that make sense according to what, on top of their mind. Partner contracts. So you're looking for referral partners. Remember, your business can be built on the partner side from a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be that person coming in and committing full time to this. I mean, that person's great if they're going to actually do it, but referral partners, licensed agents, business builders, agency expansion. Normally, people are not going to be interested in an insurance license for an insurance opportunity if it's just a run-of-the-mill insurance opportunity. What we're finding is network marketers, builders, marketers, these people are interested in this opportunity. Why? Because of the equity opportunity, because of what we do in terms of they don't have to sell insurance. If they want to come in and just create lead generation, marketers, we got a place for them. If they just want to come in, they just want to close sales and they're very good at that, we got a place for them. Maybe they can't market for themselves. What you want to understand is how to connect all this together. Take these people, no matter what they want to do, time, energy, resources, and invest in the business. Find a place for them. Don't put them on a desert island and work with them. Now, don't work with people who are having zero activity, but understand what makes a good referral partner. How are you guys going to communicate? What's going to be the end result for you, the referral partner, and the client? How do you create a win-win-win for everybody involved? Contacts create everything you guys are looking for. That's the end outcome, right? That's income, commissions, overrides, residual opportunities, equity opportunities, agency growth. But remember, contracts are the lagging indicators like we just talked about. They tell you what happened. It's the end of the story, right? The first 3 C's tell you what actually is happening. It's the the beginning, middle, and building up to the end. The first 3 C's are absolutely necessary. If without those, you have no end outcome. So focus on the first 3. Don't worry about the end fourth one. It'll fall in line if you master the first 3. This is where agents get stuck. If the contracts are low, the income is low, they start by looking at contracts and they look backwards. That's not what you want to do. Are your appointments low? If yes, reverse engineer that. Look at communication. If your conversations are low, then look back at the contacts. If your contacts are low, that's where you start. So when you're teaching yourself and teaching other people, that's all it is. And you just reverse engineer it. Oh, I've got a problem here. If I fix that, everything else should be flowing. Like a water hose, if there's like a kink or a tie in the water hose, the water can't get out the end of the hose. Once you relieve that, then the water flows freely. That's all we're trying to do here. Every problem in this business can usually be traced backward through the 4 C's. That's all you got to learn. That's all you got to teach other people. And this is how you got to score yourself. Remember, accountability is not a punishment. Every agent should know these numbers. Hey, how many contacts did I add? How many conversations did I start? How many appointments did I schedule? How many appointments were held? How many clients did I acquire? How many partners did I add? How much revenue was generated? If these are low, look back at the C. What C are you getting stuck on? Fix it and then move on. Measure, track, improve, and grow. If you improve these numbers, you are bound and with certainty. If you improve these numbers every week, your business will absolutely grow into different types of areas that maybe even surprise you. So this business is not complicated. This is where we're going to end today, guys. Most people are looking for a secret. There just isn't one. The secret is mastering the 4 C's. And once you do that and repeat that every day, every week, every month, you master this process, you teach other people, and then that allows for them to gain independence from you. That allows you to build the asset that you can walk away from that still performs without your day-to-day activity. Remember, if you have to show up day to day after a while, you don't have a business. You're self-employed, you own a job. Nothing happens until something happens. And then when something happens, you start moving these people through the 4 C's, and that's really where your business begins to take off.